You know what breaks us more than an outright betrayal? It's not the unspoken accusations, the subtle lies, or even the open misunderstandings. The most insidious and destructive thing is something we often accept as normal: our own habits. It's the habit of tolerating those who don't value us, the ones who, for years, have taken advantage of our kindness, our time, and our attention, only to offer silent indifference, cold distance, and sometimes a bitter irony in return. This habit is like a slow poison. It corrodes you from the inside because you constantly make excuses and tell yourself, "It's okay, that's just how he is," or "She's just tired, she doesn't mean it, it's just circumstances." You allow this habit to grow, not noticing how it weaves a web around you. Then, one day, you wake up feeling empty, disillusioned, and having lost faith not only in others but in yourself. This feeling is familiar to me. I've walked through that darkness, thinking I was in a real relationship, a true friendship, or a faithful love. I supported them, helped them, and was always there. Then, one day, I stepped back into the shadows and saw that no one even noticed I was gone. That's when I understood who truly valued me and who was just using me as a convenient resource. Today, I'm going to share with you 7 powerful methods that will help you set things straight. Without the drama, loud scenes, or emotional explosions. Just the sober reality of facts and clear, conscious actions. Stay with me until the end, because perhaps today is the day you stop being the one who is always convenient. And for the first time in a long while, you will feel what it means to be yourself, a whole and free individual. Method 1. Conscious distancing. Stop being convenient. Sometimes the simplest action feels the most difficult. Just stop being available. It seems so easy in words, yet almost impossible in practice, especially when you're used to always being there, helping, and adapting. For years, you've been the person they could turn to at any moment, but only when it was convenient for them. And then the fear emerges. The fear that they'll stop calling you altogether, that you'll lose even these illusory connections that haven't been real for a long time. But this first step is the most crucial one. Because until you step out of the role of the convenient person, no one will ever be able to truly see you. This method isn't about punishment. It's an act of self-respect. And it requires real inner courage. Its essence is to consciously remove from your life everything that turns you into a free resource for others. Who is a convenient person? It's someone who helps, even when they are exhausted, who texts first, even when they no longer feel any mutual interest, who listens when they themselves are in pain, who offers warmth but receives only a cold wall of indifference in return, who comes to the rescue without being asked and leaves without a single word of thanks. The more you do this, the less you are respected. Because in a world where sincere kindness is often mistaken for weakness, you have to protect yourself even from those you considered your closest companions. The first thing you need to do is stop giving bonuses to those who don't appreciate you. Don't text first. Don't call without a good reason. Don't initiate meetings or conversations. Don't offer help. And most importantly, do not explain why you are doing it. The moment you start making excuses, you put yourself back in a dependent position. Instead, just disappear from their daily field of vision, quietly, without drama or resentment. You will see that about 80% of these people won't even notice your absence. This will be an unexpected, but incredibly sobering discovery. they will simply find a new energy donor, replacing you like a dead battery without even blinking. And that's wonderful, because now you know for sure who didn't value you and was only faking closeness. As for the remaining 20%, they will start looking for you. They'll text, call, ask questions, perhaps even express surprise. These are the people you can talk to, because only those who notice your absence deserve your presence. And if you're afraid this seems like manipulation, think about it. Is setting your own boundaries manipulation? No, it's an act of inner maturity. It's what people who respect themselves do. You are no longer a shoulder to cry on, a psychologist on demand, a free taxi, or a perpetual yes man. Start saying, sorry, I can't. Without extra explanations, just say, it's not convenient for me, or I don't have time, because your time is your life. To spend it on those who see you as mere decoration is to devalue yourself. Remember, people only value what they fear losing. As long as you are always available, you are like air to them. Convenient, silent, and invisible. But as soon as you disappear, they have two options. Either start valuing you or replace you with someone else. In either case, you win, because you stop being someone they keep around just in case. As the psychologist Carl Jung said, true loneliness is not the absence of people, but the absence of understanding. If someone doesn't notice you're gone, they had already left you on the inside long ago. Method 2. The mirror image. Compare how this person behaves with others. Do you know what keeps us in unhealthy relationships the longest? Illusion. The illusion that he's just that kind of person, or she's like that with everyone, or it's just a character trait. And so we forgive, tolerate, and turn a blind eye because we don't want to see the truth. The truth is that people are capable of behaving differently. They have simply chosen one style with you and a completely different one with others. So the second method is incredibly simple. Hold up a mirror. Compare how the person who may not value you behaves with other people. With their boss, they are polite, punctual, and smiling. With those from whom they stand to gain something, they are attentive, engaged, and eager to impress. But with you, they can go silent for weeks, reply to messages a day later, forget to acknowledge an important event, and never apologize, inquire, or thank you. This is the moment of truth. Ask yourself, would they treat someone they truly respect and fear losing this way? The answer is obvious. It's not because you aren't important enough. It's because you allowed them to treat you this way. You forgave, explained, and justified their behavior. But it's time to stop, because this is no longer patience. It's self-deception. As Jung said, that which you do not make conscious will direct your life. When you begin to see that a person can be completely different, just not with you, you finally stop living in an illusion. And it's not painful. It's sobering. It gives you strength. You start to see that it's not that you're too sensitive, but that they are too indifferent. It's not that you're demanding too much, but that they are giving too little. Once you accept this, the need for excuses disappears. You no longer tell yourself, it's probably my fault. You say, now I see, and this sets me free. Method 3. The quiet disappearance. No words, no scenes, no pain. We live in a culture that teaches us from childhood. If you're hurt, explain it. If something is wrong, talk about it. If you feel injustice, you must voice your pain. This seems right, but not when you're dealing with people who were never truly listening in the first place. Have you noticed? The more we explain to people what hurts us, the less they seem to understand. We spend hours, days, months trying to explain that we feel unnecessary, invisible, devalued. And in response, we get an ironic smile or irritation. Are you offended again? You're imagining things, or you're taking it too personally. Or even worse, a fake, I understand, after which everything repeats itself again and again. That is why the most powerful method is not shouting, not tears, and not long letters. It is silence. A quiet, calm, conscious withdrawal without announcements or scenes. Just disappear from their view. Stop being an emotional donor, a background character in someone else's life. You used to text first, now you don't. You used to suggest meeting up, now you don't. You used to carry the conversation, pulling the entire weight of the relationship on your shoulders. Now, you are polite but brief, restrained, and neutral. Let the silence say for you everything that words have failed to convey. When you stop being the one who entertains, listens, agrees, suggests, and consoles, the space around you clears. It clears itself of those who were only there because of your availability. And the people who are truly meant for you will start to seek you out, to notice, to worry, because silence is a litmus test for relationships. It either shatters the illusion or opens your eyes. I had a friend like that. 14 years of friendship. I was always the first with congratulations, invitations, and concern. And then I just stopped. I stopped writing. A month, 2, a year went by. He never reappeared. Not a single word, not a single question. And then I understood. It was never a friendship. It was my illusion. If someday such people write to you, "Where did you disappear?" Don't make excuses. Don't say, "I was busy." That makes you vulnerable again. It's better to calmly say, "That's just how things turned out," and observe. If the person truly values you, they will show it. If they disappear again, it means they were just curious. Nothing more. Method 4. Become a mirror. Show the person themselves. Sometimes you don't need to shout. You don't need to be offended. You don't even need to explain anything. All you need to do is become a mirror, a cold, calm, honest mirror that reflects the person back to them exactly as they have been with you all this time. In relationships, we often play a one-sided game. One person gives, tries, writes first, supports, forgives, and adapts, while the other simply takes, acting as if that's how it's supposed to be. They don't thank you, show initiative, or notice your efforts because they're used to you always being there, without conditions, demands, or boundaries. Now, everything changes. You're not going to scream, "Look at how you treat me." You will simply mirror them. They don't write. You don't write either. They reply dryly. You reply concisely. They forget your birthday. You calmly ignore theirs. They cancel plans at the last minute. Suddenly you have things to do as well. They show no interest in your life. You stop asking about theirs. This isn't cruelty. It's the restoration of balance. You are simply removing the excess of your attention and energy. You used to invest. Now you only respond to their investment. You used to adapt. Now you focus on your own boundaries. You no longer give if you do not receive. And you know what will happen? People will start to feel that something has changed. Some will get angry. Some will be surprised. "Wow, you've become so cold." Others will fall silent because they don't want to receive from you what they've been giving. But there will be some who understand. They will look into this mirror and see not only you, but themselves. And they will have a chance to change because an honest reflection is more powerful than any reproach. Carl Jung said, "We see in others what is in ourselves, but it also works in reverse. Others see in us a reflection of their own behavior. If a person doesn't react to this, it means the old dynamic suited them just fine. They never intended to change. They were simply using what you gave them." Don't be afraid to become a mirror. It's the most honest way to see the truth. Method 5. Replace pleasing with reciprocity. Sometimes we get tired not of people themselves, but of carrying everything on our own. We become like an engine that powers the relationship, the friendship, even the family, but only in one direction. And the more we try, the more devalued everything we give becomes. Because when giving is unbalanced, exhaustion is inevitable. So the 5th method is a replacement. Replace people-pleasing with reciprocity. Stop being the one who constantly thinks, "Is this convenient for him? Will she be offended? Will I look selfish?" Start asking a different question. Is there a mutual flow here? If a person doesn't give back to you in the same way, it's not your fault. It's their choice. But it is your decision whether to continue playing this one-sided game. Pleasing destroys you, while reciprocity heals you. Reciprocity gives strength, support, and warmth. Pleasing makes you invisible, exhausted, and deprived of your right to mutual care. How do you do this? Simply stop investing in those who don't invest in you. Not out of resentment or revenge, but out of respect for yourself. Direct your energy toward those who celebrate your successes, who think of you even when they don't have problems, and who are interested in your life not because they need something, but because you are important to them. Do an internal audit. Ask yourself simple but tough questions. Does this person show initiative? Do they remember my needs as much as I remember theirs? Are they there for me when I'm struggling, or only when it's convenient for them? If the answer to all these questions is no, you are not obligated to carry this relationship. You are not obligated to be convenient. You are not obligated to be the good one. You are not obligated to continue a dialogue when there is only silence from the other side. Most importantly, you don't need to have a big confrontation. Simply stop doing more than you receive. Be polite but neutral. Don't be the first to suggest a meeting. Don't initiate help. And if they ask for something, sometimes say no. Simply and without guilt. Then, the most interesting thing will happen. True relationships will reveal themselves. Some people will disappear because you've stopped being a resource for them, and others will stay and begin to change because they will understand. You are not an infinite source. You are a person with feelings, with boundaries, and with value. Method 6. The open conversation. Speak directly, but with dignity. One of the hardest steps is to speak directly, not by screaming in hysterics, not by blaming, not by breaking down, but calmly, confidently, like an adult, because when you stay silent, accumulate grievances, and swallow insults, you turn into a ticking time bomb. Sooner or later, you will explode, but not at the person who devalued you, but at home, at those who are close and innocent. In a culture that taught us to endure, be silent, don't air your dirty laundry, an honest conversation is perceived as a threat. But in reality, it's the only way to see if a relationship has a future. If you can't calmly talk to a person about your feelings, it's not a relationship. It's a prison with nice curtains. This 6th method, the open conversation, is needed not to complain, but to test whether the person hears you or is just using you. For example, you've been helping a neighbor for 6 months, fixing his car, helping with documents, giving advice, but when you need help, he's always very busy. What should you do? Don't stay silent. Don't disappear in resentment. Just say it directly, but without accusation. Hey, I've noticed that I help you when I can, but when I need help, you're either busy or don't respond. That feels hurtful and unpleasant to me. Can you explain why that is? The reaction to such a statement will reveal a lot. There are 3 types of responses. The sincere. The person is genuinely surprised, apologizes, and acknowledges it. Such people aren't your enemies. They simply didn't notice. Now that they see it, they will start to change. The defensive. They start making excuses. You misunderstood, or I'm just so swamped. This is a warning sign. The person may not be ready to acknowledge their blind spots. The accuser. They blame you for being overly sensitive. They might say, "You're being ridiculous." This is no longer a signal. It's a direct threat to your self-respect. The crucial part is what you do after this conversation. Because if the person doesn't change and you stay, you have proven them right. You can be disrespected and you will still stick around. As Jung wrote, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Until you mark where it hurts, you will be wounded again and again." Method 7. Leaving without regret. Close the door without looking back. There's a moment that always comes, unexpectedly but inevitably. You stand at the threshold of a relationship, look deep inside, and you realize that's it. You've spoken up, you've given chances, you've endured, you've hoped, you've explained, but nothing has changed. The person remains the same, and then a wave rises inside you. Everything in you screams that it's time to leave, but fear holds you in place. Because leaving isn't just a change. It's the loss of an illusion. It's admitting, "I was wrong about this person." It's acknowledging that you weren't important, despite all your efforts. And that hurts. Deeply. But you know what hurts more? To stay and continue living in quiet humiliation. To pretend everything is fine. To hope that something will change. To smile through the disappointment. Our culture is deeply rooted in the idea of sacrifice. Endure for the sake of the family. You must always forgive. Who will, if not you? But these are the very beliefs that turn us into hostages of someone else's indifference. As Carl Jung wisely said, where there is no reciprocity, there is no real connection, only dependence. This is where maturity begins. Leaving isn't cruelty, it is respect for yourself. It is the acknowledgement. I did everything I could. I don't blame them, but I will no longer stay where I am not valued. It's important to leave correctly, without scandals, loud scenes, or drama. Just quietly exit the story. Be grateful for the lesson, for the experience, and for the fact that you now know exactly who is who. I've been through this myself. I've left more than once, and each time I was afraid I would regret it. But you know what happened? In the space that was freed up, other people came. Real ones. The ones who saw my value from day one, instead of getting used to me like a piece of furniture. Life is a book. Some characters are there for a page, others for a chapter. But only you decide who will be with you until the end. If you are scared to take this step right now, just imagine yourself a year from now, looking back and saying, "Why didn't I do this sooner?" Or alternatively, thank you for choosing yourself back then. You are not obligated to suffer to be a good person. You are not obligated to endure to preserve an imaginary harmony. You are not obligated to stay if everything inside you has already left. Leaving without regret is not an escape. It's stepping out of the shadows and into the light. It is a conscious decision to no longer allow anyone to treat you as something temporary, spare, or merely convenient. Remember, your life is not about someone else's comfort. It is about your freedom, your dignity, and your soul. And if someone doesn't see that, they don't deserve to be a part of your story.